is Maryam Dovlatova, and that's my gamer motivation profile analysis. What is a gamer motivational profile anyway? A short test that assigns you to some type as a gamer and can recommend you some games based on your answers. I would love to talk about more with examples from my Overwatch 2 gameplay. Overwatch is a high paced hero shooter that got its second part released in 2023, and a little of pathologic2, which is a horror roleplay game released in 2019. So my gamer type is Bard slash Ninja, where primary player type is Bard, leaning towards Ninja. Bard are team players who want to chat and interact with other players in a game worlds that are rich with lore, stories, discovery, and customization. For them, the game is a grand story that emerged from community of players. Ninjas seek out difficult challenges that blend strategic decision making, fast pacing, and competition. They see video games as a places to test their skills and wits against other players. Well, I would say it's pretty accurate that I got them both, since I do like fast pacing competitive games, but characters, their stories, and general lore of the game is no less important to me. So I got 96% of on the social components, which says gamer with high social scores enjoy interacting with other players, often regardless or whether they are collaborating or competing with them. Gamer with low social scores prefer solo gaming experience where they can be independent. I do like social games in general. Like if I have an options to play anything online with other people, I'm using this opportunity. Competition is 91. Gamers who score high on this component enjoy competing with other players, often in duel matches or team versus team scenarios. But competition isn't always overly combative. Competitive players might care about being acknowledged as the best healer in the guild or having a high ranking level on Facebook farming game relative to their friends. And for the community, I got 95. Gamers who score high on community enjoy socializing and collaborating with other people while gaming. They like chatting and grouping with other players. They enjoy being a part of a team working towards a common goal. For them, gamers are integral part of maintaining their social network. It's accurate to me that community is slightly higher than a competition. Well, I think it should be even more higher, yet I still check up on how am I doing and trying to do best. Well, my gaming skills aren't perfect. I genuinely just enjoy doing something around other people, with other people.
ไงสหาย
The mastery components. Gamers with high mastery scores like challenging gaming experience with strategic depth and complexity. Gamers with low mastery scores enjoy being spontaneous in games and prefer games that are accessible and forgiving when mistakes are made. And as you can see, my challenge isn't that high, and strategy even less. Well, yeah, I often act without thinking. As example here, I pulled my teammate right into the bomb. Challenge 46. Gamers who score high on challenge enjoy playing games that rely heavily on skill and ability. They are persistent and take the time to practice and hone their gameplay so they can take one of the most difficult missions and bosses that the game can offer. These gamers play at the highest difficulty settings and don't mind failing missions repeatedly in the games like Dark Souls because they know it's the only way they'll master the game. They want gameplay that constantly challenges them. Well, I think 46 might be a little high. My skills aren't that good and I'm not a challenging type. I honestly would give myself 35 on that. I love taking everything easy. And that's exactly why I have 49 hours on support out of 85. The achievement component is 4%. Yeah, well, that's pretty accurate too. Gamers with high achievement scores are driven to accurate power, rare items, and collectibles, even if this means grinding for a while. Gamers with low achievement scores have a relaxed attitude towards in game achievements and don't worry too much about their scores or progress in the game. I love taking my time on the game and don't bother about getting achievements or getting stronger in general. Even if you look at my earned achievements in Overwatch, you're gonna see 23 out of 164. I have 17 for completion. Gamers with high completion scores want to finish everything in the game has to offer. They try to complete every mission, find every collectible, and discover every hidden location. For some players, this might mean completing every listed achievement or unlocking every possible character move in the game. And 2 for powers. Gamers who score high on this component strive for power in the context of the game world. They want to become as powerful as possible, seeking out the tools and equipment needed to make this happen. In RPGs and action games, this might mean maxing stats or acquiring the most powerful weapons or artifacts. Power and competition often go hand in hand, but some players enjoy collecting cosmetic items without caring about power, and some players prefer attaining power through strategic optimization rather than grinding. Both of these components are realistically low, and I do agree with this. And that's also the reason why I picked Overwatch. No character powering up, just your skills and, well, luck. I have 31% for the creativity components. Gamers with high creativity scores are constantly experimenting with their game worlds, are tailoring them with their own designs and customization. Gamers with low creativity scores are more practical in their gaming style and accept their game worlds as they are. 16 for discovery. Gamers who score high on discovery are constantly asking, what if? For them, game worlds are fascinating contraptions to open up and tinker with. In an MMO, they might swim out of the edge of the ocean to see what happens. In Minecraft, they might experiment with whether crafting outcomes differ by the time of the day or proximity to zombies. They play games in the broadest sense of the word, open in the ways not intended or imagined by the game's developers. Well, discovery is low, which is again fair. I would put it even lower since I enjoy playing as it was intended rather by trying to find a new way. Design 54. Gamers who score high on this component want to actively express their individuality in the game world. They find themselves in games like Mass Effect. They put a lot of time and effort in the character creation process. In the world building games or space strategy games, they take the time to design and customize exactly how their city or spaceship look. To this end, they prefer games that provide the tools and assets necessary to make this possible and easy to do. Well, this one is kinda tricky. I do like creating characters in games as a concept, but not on practice. But I do like having customization options, and that's exactly why I get those mystic skins that allow me slightly change part of them depending on what I want to see today. The immersion components, 51%. Gamers with high immersion scores want games with interesting narratives, characters, and settings that they can be deeply immersed in the alternative worlds created by games. Gamers with low immersion scores are more grounded in the gameplay, mechanics, and care less about the narrative experience that games offer. And since Overwatch is just simply a shooter, I decided to move on pathologic2 for that part. Fantasy, 23%. Gamers who score high on fantasy want their gaming experience to allow them to become someone else somewhere else. They enjoy the sense of being immersed in an alter ego in a believable alternate world and enjoy exploring the game world just as the sake for exploring it. These gamers enjoy games like Skyrim, Fallout, and Mass Effect for the fully imagined alternative settings. Well, yeah, immersion doesn't matter for me that much, so I would like to focus on what's coming next. Story 76%. Gamers who score high on story want games with elaborate campaign storylines and a cast of multidimensional characters with interesting backstories and personalities. They take the time to delve into backstories of the characters in games like The Dragon Age and Mass Effect and enjoy the elaborate and thoughtful narratives in games like The Last of Us and Bioshock. Gamers who score low on story tend to find dialogue and quest descriptions to be distracting and skip through them if possible. I like Pathologic because of its weird lore and that every random interaction with people around in this game somehow relevant to the main story, even if the character is not. So in the end, do I think this test was accurate? Yeah, pretty much. and most of the games that I got there was either those games that I played or I was planning to play anyway.